Good evening, Bhava babes. Ingrid here, founder, head minister at the Bhava Spiritual Mission. I did not actually give myself the title of head minister. One of my leadership ministers gave me the title of head minister, and I was like, okay, wore that robe for a minute. I don't know, it's a little hokey. Being called minister at all to me is like, whoa. It's called pastor twice the other weekend by two different people, and I was like, pastor? I grew up in a pagan household, so this whole churchy thing was like never my jam. And I was thinking about that tonight and just marveling at this organization we have. 2 years later, it's this international organization with amazing humans all over the world taking their spiritual gifts out in the world, finding their spiritual authority and taking it out there, changing the world. It's amazing to be a part of, to be such an integral part. Well, I hope it's integral, feels integral to me, to be such a big piece of the shift in consciousness in the planet. Not just the planet, the universe, this universe we reside in. It is such an exciting time to be alive. So I wanted to tell you the story real quick about how this pagan girl ended up starting a church. I have been doing psychic mediumship work and spiritual work for 5 or 6 years now. And about 2 years ago, I had a dasha change, right? That was coming up. So a dasha in Vedic astrology is a period rule of your life ruled by a particular planet. I had been in my Saturn Mahadasha for like 20 years, and I was moving into Mercury. So we're going from constricted, disciplined work to Mercury, talking, communicating out there, in the community. And I was starting to feel it, starting to feel the shift. So I was feeling that discomfort, that antsiness that comes from change is coming and we don't know what it is yet, and we're human and we're super uncomfortable with that. My mind wants to latch onto something. And it was then that I got a visit from my spirit guide, Mons. If you follow me around personally on any of my pages, you'll see me post his messages. He's, the divine who shows up to me in the form of a relatable old dude who I can talk to. Old white guys, right? Some of us just bought into the patriarchy every which way. But anyway, it makes it relatable to me. And he came to me and he gave me the clearest message I'd ever received from him to date. He said, Ingrid, you need to start a church. And when he said that, I was like, absolutely not. That's not my bag at all. I've never been a joiner. I'm not a church person. Like, no, that's not me. I'm not doing that. I said, okay. And he left. And I was like, yeah, weirdo. I had not yet learned to just trust spirit. And so fast forward, maybe a few weeks or another month or two, I get another visit from him, clear as anything. And this time he says, Ingrid, you need to start a church. You're going to teach people how to do what you do, and you need to protect them. And that's when the gears started turning, and I went, oh, wait a minute. Isn't ordination, like ordained ministers, aren't they have some kind of legal protection? Is that what he's talking about? So I went a-Googling, and sure enough, an ordained minister doing spiritual work has protection. Like a therapist has their license, a minister has an ordination through a church. And I went, okay, well, what goes into this starting a church? What does this entail? I started Googling a little further. Google has helped to bolster my faith on many occasions. I get some of the most random messages from spirit, like these visuals. I'll be like, what? And I'll Google it. And I'm like, oh, whoa, it totally makes sense. So spirit likes to play with me in that way. So I Googled how to start a church. I live in California. Turns out it's very easy to start a church in California. So I did, filed the paperwork, paid the monies, and then said, okay, so I guess I'm going to start a ministry, like a seminary. I'm going to start a school. So I looked up all the requirements, the legal requirements for ordination through a church. Check, check, check. Pretty simple. And I launched the first ministry a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago this spring, I believe. Yeah. My first group, my beta group, they were the brave ones. They said, you're doing what? All right, we'll give it a go, So I took them through a year-long program, teaching them, how to do spiritual work, training them in psychic mediumship, doing healing, developing somatic renewal. I've taken 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th group now, taking through the ministry. It's gone down from 12 months to 9 months because we realize we can do it in a shorter period of time. And that's just the leadership ministry. And then we layered the ministry too. So we have the development ministry as well. So we have a group that goes through and does their version of the ministry, depending on what, so we giving options for what works for people. But when you go through our ministry, through our seminary, through our school, you heal like a mofo. We go deep. We clear out all the blocks. We get rid of the self-sabotaging behavior. We open you up big and wide, baby. You learn psychic mediumship. You learn channeling. You learn energy healing. We have Vedic astrology intensives. We have human design. And we have, what's the other one? Sacred geometry. I don't teach that one. So some of the leadership ministers are stepping up and teaching these intensives. We have a bustling community of spiritual workers, spiritual artists, if you will, developing all over the world, all over the world. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I can tap into the energy of the Bhava spiritual mission. I feel it. You can feel the vastness of it. You feel how big it is. And we're just getting started. It's like a teacher of mine used to say, Dr. Creamy, who was my martial arts teacher and spiritual teacher. And he said, we're just getting warmed up. It's like, oh my God, yes, that's what it is. We're just getting warmed up. So it's a magical organization. It's a magical group. Watching these people flourish under the leadership of Divine Spirit. It's amazing. So if you want to learn more about it, you can send this page a message. You can talk to me directly. I'd love to tell you everything, all the things. You can also visit our website, bhavamission.org, BHAVA mission, MISSION.org. Lots of good info there. Thanks for tuning in. Cool story, huh? Love you to death.